We're going to talk more about the situation in Israel now with France 24's Noga Tarnopolsky, who joins me from Jerusalem. Noga, we have heard that there have been a series of blasts heard over Jerusalem recently. I know you've heard these blasts yourself. You were just recently in a shelter. What's the situation like where you are now?
It's been basically nonstop sirens and nonstop booms here. The Israeli system of alerts hasn't managed to tell people that they're free to leave the shelters before they're called back into the shelters. The latest news that I can share with you, really from the last 2 minutes or so, is that there was a direct hit in the city of Beersheba in southern Israel. Um, I don't know. I don't think it was a missile hit, but it was what we call a shard. A shard is normally a piece of one of the anti-missile missiles, part of the Israeli missile defense batteries that falls back to the ground. So this doesn't indicate a failure of the missile defense system, but these so-called shards can be the size of a large truck. These we're talking about very large missiles, very powerful. So there's apparently a building destroyed in Beersheba and some people wounded. This is becoming a reality for Israelis of several times a day. The other latest breaking news I have for you is that the Israeli Air Force announces that with the guidance of Israeli intelligence, it has begun an additional broad strike on Iranian terror regime targets in the heart of Tehran. So again, we've had these announcements, I think, twice or three times yesterday, twice today. So at the same time that there is a constant Iranian barrage against Israel, there are constant Israeli strikes in Iran, slightly less intense in Lebanon, but Israel is also striking against Hezbollah targets, it says in Lebanon.
Right, Noga, you mentioned Lebanon, where this conflict is spreading at the moment. How much further could this escalate regionally?
Look, this could get pretty bad and pretty widespread very quickly. I'm looking at my notes, forgive me, because I wanted to mention just in the last hour, this is what has happened. As you said, there have been nonstop launches against Israel. There have also been pretty much equivalent nonstop barrages against the United Arab Emirates. Um, there was also, we heard sirens just a few minutes ago, less than an hour ago, at the United Kingdom's Air Force base on Cyprus. And Cyprus has ordered the evacuation, not of the UK, not of the British Air Force base, but of the neighborhood, the region of Akrotiri, where this air base is held. So what we're seeing today is unending Iranian attacks. We also have the U.S. Central Command announcing that three fighter jets, were felled from the skies in an apparent friendly fire incident. So, increasing U.S. casualties both in service people and in armaments and airplanes. Um, this is escalating rapidly, and we have had statements today from the GCC, the Gulf States Council, and specifically from both Qatar and Saudi Arabia, saying that they have to defend themselves. There's been specific disappointment in Saudi Arabia, a sense of being burnt a little bit by the United States, that its interests are not being watched out for in as part of the American assault on Iran. So indeed, this is a widely escalating situation right now. It could go in any number of directions, but at this very moment, it seems to be a growing and possibly increasingly regional war.